Welcome back. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire and live in studio with Regina Belle. How are you, Regina?
I'm wonderful. How is the doctor?
Oh, the good doctor as well. Thank
All right,
you.
all right.
I am so happy to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Listen, it's been years since we've seen one another.
A lot of years.
Yes, I had to refresh her memory, but she remembered.
Yes. I can never forget that night.
Yes, we had a up all night in WBLS studio with the wonderful Vaughn Harper.
It was supposed to be 20 minutes.
And it lasted all night.
Was there his whole segment?
Yes. Yes.
But it was wonderful.
It was a wonderful
the conversation that went, oh my gosh, we talked about everything from jazz to jazz icons to just people in general.
And you sing everything in general. I mean, we know you as an R&B songstress.
Amen.
But you cross genres.
Yeah.
Easily.
I've been really blessed. Jazz, R&B, gospel, pop. I've been able to kind of permeate through all those areas of music. So I thank God for that.
Mm-hmm. And even film.
Yes.
Peabo Bryson, that wonderful whole new world.
Yes. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Amen. And I bet a lot of people don't even know that's you.
Well, let me see, 9 million sales might say differently.
Well, yes. And then some. Okay. But I mean, this is the face with the voice.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. Well, here at the Ask the Good Doctor show, we focus on how to attain, maintain, and reclaim perfect health. Mm-hmm. And you are a veteran in this record industry.
Yep.
How many years?
31.
And going strong. And she looks amazing.
Oh, for sure.
What is your secret to living well?
Maintaining being happy, my joy. Mm-hmm. Not allowing stuff and things and people to infiltrate, to kind of blot that out.
Yes.
I try to eat well, but I do love chocolate, and chocolate and cheese are probably my enemies. But I have befriended them. You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I keep my enemies closer.
Okay.
So me, chocolate and cheese. We have parties every now and again. We have soirees. But my family has, I believe, been the outside of God, they've been the most important thing to me, and they've kept me buoyant when I've otherwise felt that I was going to go down for the third time. So that attributes a lot to my physical health, my spiritual health, my emotional health. My mother and father, I'm still blessed to have them with me.
Yes.
And my dad's 81. My mother will be 81 soon. So, I'm still getting my parents,
it's beautiful.
Breathing into me, praying over me and all that kind of good stuff. So
it's nothing like it.
Yeah. Nothing. And
I understand that you had a health scare some years ago. Tell us about that.
It was more than a scare. It almost took me out of here. So 2009, I found out a brain tumor. Wow. And it was one that I had been growing since I was a little girl. Did not know. And I went and I had to have emergency surgery. The long of it is that the surgery was supposed to take just a few hours. Ended up taking 8 hours.
My goodness.
I bled so badly they had to close me up, and I had to wait 6 months to finish the surgery.
You stop it. Wow.
Yeah. But God, because my surgeon says to me today that I was out after I had the surgery and I was coming back from rehab because for 10 months I couldn't walk by myself, I couldn't feed myself, I couldn't even get dressed by myself. I asked my surgeon, after I was making a comeback, I said, what was, the likely results of, somebody with my condition? Because even though it wasn't cancerous, it was, it's on your brain.
What was it called?
Girl, don't even.
Some really multisyllabic word.
I sang, doctor.
Okay.
I sang. Okay.
Okay.
I think
I'm the lab rat. Sorry.
Right. Did you get the memo? I sang. Okay. He told me that the more likely outcome would have been it could have been paralysis retardation, but more than likely death. He said because of the extensive, the tumor that I had grows like a vine, and it wraps around the brain.
My goodness.
But mine grew up, down, up, down, up, down in my left ear. So that's how he knew how old it was, because the root of it was so thick and strong. So I currently have no hearing in my left ear. I'm clinically deaf. But it has not stopped me from singing.
Amen.
It hasn't stopped me from doing anything that I do. So, man, please, if the devil ever thought he had some say-so over my life, he just might as well take a seat somewhere and go ask somebody.
Amen. Hey, hallelujah to the Lamb. When you gave that visual of it growing up, down, like a vine, that is also up, down, like sound wave patterns. So you being musical and being around so much music, that to me, as the doctor, it seems like your body was, actually making music.
Well, what's crazy is the tumor that I had, it's not supposed to grow like that.
Yes.
It's not supposed to grow. It's supposed to go around my brain. That's what it's supposed to do. But mine grew, like I said, up, down, up, down, up, down. And, which made it more extensive when they went in, because, you see one thing on the MRI, but then when you actually open my head up, then you see something totally different. So, my doctor was saying that a lot of surgeons would have run from that because, the outcome of that wasn't going to be good. But I thank God that, what's crazy is I never felt like I was going to leave here. I felt like this was another step, because when I go back in time, I didn't have to talk with my children. I didn't say, hey, mommy's getting ready, because they were old enough. They were in high school, junior high. So they were old enough to understand that, look, it's a chance I might not come out of this.
Okay.
But I never had that conversation with them because I never felt that was going to be my outcome.
Yes.
So, the blessing in that is that, I guess subconsciously I was speaking into my own life.
How about it?
And God honored it. So I'm
Praise
indebted.
Him.
I'm grateful, and I own God everywhere I go.
Amen. Amen. How did you know something was wrong?
I was in Barbados, and I had a migraine headache that was so bad that I was affected by light, sound, and movement. And it came on like all of a sudden. And my assistant, Ivy Taylor, tried to get in my room, and I never woke up. It just so happens my mom was on this trip with us. She got somebody to open the door of my hotel room, and the guy you should have seen him trying to give her a hard time. she looked at him like, you value your life, you gonna open this door.
Right.
So she opens the door, and she finds me in there. The room is like unbearably hot, and she goes to touch me, and I'm just screaming. So she says, I'm going to get your mom. So my mother comes in there, and she says, can you get up? And I said, I can, but if I do, I'm going to scream because it's going to hurt. And so my mother just prayed over, and I just remember her saying, Lord, help me get her back home, because she wanted me to get back home to my doctor.
Yes.
And so I got back home, and I went to see the doctor, and he immediately had me go do an MRI.
Yes.
Now, usually you got to wait a week.
Yes, you do.
Right. No, that day.
Emergent.
I had the MRI. And while they're doing, people are running around. That's like never a good sign when people are running everywhere, right?
That's true.
And so I leave there, I go home, and before I could take my coat off, my doctor says, Regina, I would never tell anybody this over the phone, but I got to get you back out to the ENT doctor, the specialist, because it looks like you have a brain tumor by the looks of the MRI.
Wow. And
at that moment, I have never felt more alone in my life. I mean, literally just, it just felt like I was an island. I was by myself. That, I was in a room full of people, but
yes,
I put my coat back on, and I just walked out. And everybody to this day was like, you didn't even say nothing to us. You just left. I got in the car and I drove.
Some things you have to do alone.
You got to do by yourself. You can't, that's a place where mama can't go through it for you.
Right.
Daddy can't go through it for
right.
you. That's what I call the audience of one, just
Amen.
you and God.
But oh, the power of a praying mother who prayed that prayer over you so that you could get back home and laid hands. I know what was going on up in there. She was slinging tongues and oil and amen.
Look,
In
my
the
mama
name-
was sending up September. You hear me?
Amen.
And it's so funny because I remember as a kid when I was coming in from a dance or somewhere, I was too late coming in, so I was tiptoeing trying to get in. So she wouldn't hear me, but I had to pass her bedroom.
Oh,
And how many nights did I come past and my mother had fallen asleep on her knees praying
amen.
for me and my brother. And it's just amazing that all these years, I know I got to where I am partly because I had a praying mama.
Amen. Well, the power of the righteous availeth much.
Availeth much.
Amen. How's your brother doing?
He's doing better.
You're caregiving for him?
Yes, I am a caregiver for him over the years, and it's been 3 years now. And it's been hard because anybody that knows my brother Bernard Bell, he's vibrant.
Yes.
He is life. He's the life of the party. He's never met a stranger. He's that person. So to see him hit with this, it's hard. But every day he's fighting. He just passed what we call the swallow test, which I'm sure you're familiar with, because he has a feeding tube.
Oh, wow.
But girl, now he can eat a cheeseburger, and that's the worst thing in life.
Give him a turkey burger. A veggie burger.
Girl, he eat everything. Cupcakes are carrying on.
He's trying to make up for lost time.
Right. And I'm looking at him. What are you eating? It's all in your mustache, dude. I see. You can't hide that, So now, every day is every day is a blessing.
Yes.
And he's fighting every day to get back to himself. So, shout out to him and that's, I only have the one brother, so that's all my stuff is invested in that one brother.
Amen.
Amen. But he keeps it real and he keeps it alive, and his spirits are always up. So
we're stuck in this generation. I like to call it the sandwich generation.
Okay.
Where we're in between. We're taking care. We're caregiving to parents and children and trying to do ourselves and siblings too. How do you do it all?
I make it up as I go. There's no Dr. Spock
True
for
talk.
this. True. Just no self-help book for this.
Okay.
And you got to do what works for you. I'm an AARP representative, and one of the things I have learned over the years is that the person that you think is the caregiver when somebody goes down at home, say his parents or an aunt or a grandparent or something, it's not always the person that you think.
Oh my God.
People always think because the youngest one is home that's the one that has to do it, but they may not be equipped. And so you setting yourself up for disaster and failure. It might be somebody that you totally do not. It might not even be somebody related to you. How about that?
So true.
When you're talking about caregiving, it's all about qualifications met.
That's right.
Meaning that you have to be compassionate.
Yep.
You have to be strong. You have to be patient. And so those are like the main factors that it takes, and you got to be respectful. Because in the end of the day, you have to recognize that the person that you're caring for doesn't want to be that person.
That's very true.
They don't want, and see, I've had the opportunity to be on both sides of the spectrum. I had to be cared for.
Yes.
And I know I didn't want to be there.
Okay.
So some days the right stuff didn't come out of my mouth. But, my niece, who was my main caregiver, she moved from New York City and came down to Georgia to help take care of me. And I have 5 children.
Wow.
But she helped her where she was important. She was the person who got the house in order.
Yes, that was her assignment.
And
yes.
Everybody else could do the right thing.
Yes.
Instead of operating out of chaos.
You have to have a gift in that too.
Yes.
Yes, it's a huge. I jump all the way to Chicago for my mama. And their brothers and sisters there.
And listen, it doesn't mean that the other siblings don't love her.
Listen, my mother will say all the time, "Don't leave me with them." And I understand, and you're right. It's not that I don't love them and they don't love me.
You weren't supposed to tell it.
I'm telling it because I know that's someone else's story, so I'm telling you. We give it
right.
real talk here.
Right.
It's important that it be the right person, like you say, who has the right heart, who has the right compassion, who's organized,
Yeah.
who has a gift for it and a spirit for
Yes.
it. Because one day,
Yeah.
it may be you.
It may be you.
Very much so.
Or
You
somebody
don't
very
know.
close to you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm blessed with having not just not just the love for the people that I'm caring for, but I've had good training. AARP is a wonderful resource.
Very much
and
so.
there are a plethora of resources.
Yeah.
And the Bible talks about our people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yep.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we will depend on what we heard as opposed to, actually doing the homework and
Yes.
finding out. And you have a lot of people probably in your life who are experienced. For me, my assistant, again, Ivy Taylor, she had to care for her parents
Yes.
before they passed away. And she showed me how it's done. When I tell you that was a ship that definitely made the cross trek across the world.
Yes.
All her siblings had a job.
Yes.
And so the one that everybody thought wasn't the one that actually cared for her mom, wasn't one that actually cared for her dad. And this one is good in finance. And this one is good at calling people to get somebody to clean the house. This one is good at making sure that the doctors all understand what medications that, daddy is on. So at the end of the day, you got to let people work where they're good at working.
Very much so.
Then the ship runs smoothly.
It does indeed. Speaking of, you said something very pertinent there when you said doing the homework.
Yeah.
I say all the time, I quote Iyanla, I say, like Iyanla always says, do your work.
Yeah.
You and Iyanla have done some work together recently.
Yes.
Talk about it.
I did a song called Freedom that I co-wrote with my partner, Chris Walker. We wrote this song like 8 years ago. And because of the climate in which we live right now, I thought, you know what? It's no time like the present. I got to get this out right now. And so we went in the studio. I recorded it with my band, a live band, a choir, and my bishop, Kenneth Paramore, from Ohio. He is actually my father in the ministry as well. And I was doing on the Christmas vacation. We did Christmas vacation. During that holiday time, I was honored to be able to honor the maestro Richard Smallwood.
Yes.
And Dr. Van Zant was actually doing the spoken word over the song that I was singing, Angels Watching Over Me.
Oh, yes.
And we shared a dressing room. I let her hear Freedom in the dressing room. And she said, I love it. I want to be a part of it.
Yes.
I was like, okay, done. So at the
simple
end of
as
the day,
that.
That's right.
I love that.
So and
it was born. And so Freedom is your new single.
Less than an hour she had it done.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Is that your phone, Doc?
Believe it is. Of course it's my phone.
I just shouted you out over there. You know that is so light skinned. I'm gonna need you to know that.
Said spoken by a true vet, and only as Regina can speak it. Okay, and we gonna let her do that. It's all good.
We in your hour. Everybody else got their phone off or on vibrate,
and here I come with a ringing phone.
No, not just a ringing. The old ring. Help me, Jesus. Did y'all hear that? That is the phone with the cord that's stretched from the kitchen to the bedroom. Help me. Y'all know it.
That's how I know. I always know it's mine.
Okay, I had a moment.
It's evil. It's all good. I appreciate you. I feel called out, but it's okay. I'm good with that. Only because it's from you. It's good. It's good. Now, tell me about your transition from R&B to gospel.
Girl, what no transition.
It
was just a first gospel record. God been with me the whole time.
All day.
I tell folks all the time,
that.
I didn't just get saved.
Hey. Well, wait, to have endured what you have, absolutely not.
No.
Like
absolutely.
this industry.
Absolutely. This, being in this industry, I have never... I thank God for the fans. I thank God for celebrity. I thank God for the doors that have been open for me. Everybody that goes into helping make who Regina Belle is, from the record execs to the band members to everybody. But at the end of the day, I never really believed my own hype. I know who I am.
Yes,
You know,
amen.
I appreciate a good word, but you know, good words were spoken over me from my birth.
Amen.
And so I believe who I am, you know, and I know the beauty of who I am.
Yes.
And so I don't need I don't need to read a newspaper to see myself. I don't need to watch television to see myself. And so I think a lot of that has to do with the health of me in all these years. And that I have believed who I am and not just what people say about me.
Amen. You said rehabilitation earlier. What did that look like? I want people to understand how necessary rehab is.
Oh my God.
Because people of color skip over that part.
Well, we skip over getting help.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, because the first thing we say, I ain't crazy. No, you crazy not to go.
Not to go. Hey, man, you need Jesus and a professional counselor.
We just said that. You need Jesus and a therapist. Ain't nothing wrong. Jesus on the couch with you.
Amen.
You gonna be all right.
You do need both.
I tell people, you know, the Lord ordained these people to be able to do what they do. From birth, he spoke into them. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a therapist. You're going to help people. Why are we getting around that? Come on. There's some
Stigma.
things, even in church. I tell the congregation, look, you need somebody who went to school. Because I ain't professional enough for that. Now, I'm going to pray the whole way. But you need to go lay on somebody's couch. 'Cause I'm telling you, ain't no help in here. Okay, ain't no help in here. We going to pray, but you need to go see the people. so, you know, and you got to tell people that. You know, I am, oh my God, I'm a cheerleader.
Yes.
For you going to get some help. Now, there's some things I believe that sometimes we just making ourselves crazy. My grandmother called it worryation. And my grandma said worryation killed everybody. But at the end of the day, there are some things that you have not been able to get over since you were a child, or something that has hurt you. And what's her name? Viola Davis said it best. I can't say it the way she said it, but what she said is that our experiences, our past, if we don't start recognizing them, we are going to feel their teeth later on in life.
Amen.
And so that is huge to me. If we don't recognize some of the stuff, the pains that have hurt us from back in the day, and we can't figure out why we're the person we are today, it's because you need to sit down and talk to somebody and let them help you come into understanding.
It's that grief. And that people have complicated bereavement in their life, just piling it one occasion after another, after never having dealt with the original one. And that's what kicks you in the butt. And I always say, if you don't deal with your grief, it will deal with you.
Well, and that the song Freedom is dealing with all of that. Freedom is talking about being free to, you know, one of the things I say towards the end of the song, I said, free your mind. You know, borrow from my girls in Vogue.
Amen.
You got it. Perception is everything.
Yes, it is.
What you see is how you behave.
Yes.
And so I need us to wake up, not stay woke, but wake up.
Amen.
And get on board and be healthy, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. We need to be healthy in all those areas, and then we can really, really affect change.
Amen. You're a pastor of a church helping to do that, depositing
3 churches.
Amen.
Woo, Lord. If he'd have told me what was getting ready to happen, I would have bowed out a long time ago, okay? But yes, we have a church in Noonan, Georgia, Bread of Life Ministries, and then we have a church in College Park, Georgia, Spread the Word Church Ministries, and then the 11 o'clock hour, that's 8, 9:30, and then 11 o'clock hour is in Atlanta proper, and that's New Shield of Faith Christian Ministries.
And 3 different names.
And 3 different churches.
Amen.
One body, but 3 buildings.
3 buildings. I love it.
And we're at each church every Sunday.
God bless you. So you refuse to travel on the Sabbath, on Sunday?
What do you mean, travel?
As in,
no, I actually do. I just keep it at a minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to make every effort to be in your house.
Absolutely. Got to do it.
Amen. It's a beautiful thing. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, my kind doctor. It was wonderful being here with you today.
And as with you, we have had Regina Belle and have enjoyed her immensely.